All right, Jeff Zimmerman here with the legend Sugar Ray Leonard, five-time division world champ, 1976 Olympic gold medalist. I'm also here with Doug Ward, VP of Branding and Fighter Relations for Title Boxing. How you doing, guys?
I'm trying to. I'm okay.
I got to do that too.
All right, Doug.
You're both looking strong, man. You're both looking strong. But listen, Ray and Doug, thanks so much for doing this. And I know that you guys have had a huge collaboration take place with Title Boxing, the Sugar Ray Leonard Collection. Can't think of a better name. Let me ask you first, Ray, how excited were you to put your name, your brand, your legendary status, and tie in with a line like Title Boxing?
Doug and I have been talking about this for quite some time, years, and he brought it up. But one day he brought it up, and I said, "Yeah, hey, let's do that, man. I want to be involved with that." And it was just an incredible, let's say, coming back. I remember things. I mean, vividly. I mean, something took place like I don't know, 10, 20 years ago. Uh, it's like my wife. My wife said, "Go upstairs and get my purse or whatever." I go upstairs and I said, "What does she want?" Biggest thing I remember the gloves, and I wanted to be a part of that. It's amazing, man.
Well, that's something we talked about from the very beginning. Ray was like, if we're going to do this, let's do something that creates a moment, brings back a memory. And that's what
Right.
this whole glove line was based on. Can we spark that recollection, evoke a specific memory, a feeling, an emotion that moment in time brought out. And that's what we've tried to do with this entire line.
I guess I mean the fact that I've had nothing short of an illustrious boxing career, but there are certain fights
Yeah.
that comes to mind, man, and it's like, wow, man. And like I used to like Roberto Duran. I didn't like him, I swear, because he would talk trash, he would curse, he would do this, do that. We're friends. We're deep up, real friends. I mean, I speak with him every few months. Tommy Hearns calls me. We talk, I don't know, like once or twice a week. Um, Sorry about Marvelous Marvin Hagler, but hey, life is good, man.
What fight sticks out to you back then, Ray? Because you were an Olympic gold medalist. I mean, you had the fights with Duran, Leonard, or, I'm sorry, Hagler, Hearns. Which fight sticks out the most?
You know, the Olympic gold medal. I mean, that was priceless. I mean, guys can say I was a world champion, but the Olympic gold medal was just for me, personally speaking, was awesome, man, because I had no thoughts of becoming a professional fighter. The Olympics was the ultimate. I mean, guys say, well, I was champion here, I was this champion there, but very few people can say I was an Olympic gold medalist. You know what I mean? It's just, well, for me, personally speaking, that's how I felt. But now, looking back, bringing this up, making this real, um, the fights I had with Tommy Hearns, no question about that, was especially the first one. I don't know about the second one. Uh, Roberto Duran, beast. I mean, guys, I can't even articulate how hard he hit. Marvelous Marvin Hagler, who people thought I was crazy at the time because I had suffered a partially detached retina, but it was okay. My ophthalmologist said, Ray, if you want to come back, you can come back. And based upon that, and Marvelous Marvin Hagler, incredible guy. I mean, God bless him. Yeah, man. Yeah. Boxing was so powerful, big.
Yeah, and Doug, why? I mean, obvious reasons, but why was Sugar Ray like just the ultimate person for this project?
Well, again, Ray and I have a relationship and a history together. He's I mean, just look at him. Look what he did for the sport of boxing. I mean, he was on the greatest Olympic team of all time. He did things in the sport nobody else has ever done in terms of coming back, and he fought the best in his division, the Durans, the Hearns. I mean, just those accomplishments alone set him apart from any fighter in my mind.
Yeah, and Ray, talk about and Doug, talk about the line a little bit because I looked at the different gloves and I would imagine, Ray, like you mentioned the Olympics and seeing, putting on those gloves and just going through those memories. What was that like? And even the Hagler and the Hearns fights and Durant.
Let me show you something. Because yeah,
Oh, you
these
got it. You got it. You
these
got it.
this is I don't want to get too emotional, guys. But I mean, the Olympics, again, I say the Olympics, man, is the ultimate. It's the ultimate. You're up against the best guys in the world. And I mean, I just remember it like it was yesterday because there was a guy. Well, actually, the Cubans were dominating. They dominated, annihilated everybody for the most part. And I know I fought Aldous Adamas, and winning that gold medal, having that gold medal draped around my neck, the national anthem being played, because it wasn't about money, it wasn't about fame, it was about representing myself and my country. And guys, this is it.
Let's see, we replicated the USA on the back that they had on their jerseys.
Oh, yeah.
Inside the palm bar, it shows has his signature on one, and on the other it says Montreal 1976. And so we just kind of captured that moment in time again, just creating a memory for anybody that buys the gloves or is looking at them. It creates an emotion immediately.
I wish I was there with you guys. I can really show you how.
Next time in person, sure. Next time.
Okay, bro.
Now, those gloves can be used for actual training and sparring.
Oh yeah, because yeah, because I used to have bad hands and knuckles, and with these, I mean, I can hit my back and go through my whole motion. Brings again, I'm redundant, but it brings back so many memories. This is like, to me, priceless.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and seeing that come out on TitleBoxing.com is amazing. Now, your pro career, Sugar Ray, is legendary. You mentioned the fights with Duran, the fights with Hearns. It's hard to pick some. The fight with Hagler, which I was just reading today, 46 out of 50 in the press thought you were probably crazy and were going to lose. But those were the fights that made you legendary. Fighting those guys, you were already a great fighter, but you became a legend by taking on those guys. What has changed in boxing, from not only just like the gloves and the equipment, but from the fighters? Like, this is a different era.
There's so much talent out there. I mean, sometimes I can't figure it out why the champions don't fight champions. And again, so much talent. I'm not going to say names, but there's just so much incredible talent out there. And when I watch these young men, well, almost kids to me,
yeah.
Not old, but no, they just got to fight. They just got to compete against each other. They say, I'm the best, show it. Show you the best.
Yeah.
With me, it just got to step up to the plate.
You weren't afraid to lose. I mean, is that it?
That wasn't even on my mind. I don't even think about that. The people ask me all the time, say, were you thinking about losing? No, I wouldn't go in there if I thought I would be losing or I could lose. But the things with Marvelous Marvin Hagler and Duran was my first professional loss. And Duran was like, I don't know, he was a Tasmanian devil, man. He hit me with so many punches. I swear, guys, I said, who else is in this ring? Because I thought it felt like 2, 3 guys I was fighting. That was his whole, I don't know, his power.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Hearns, same thing. Tommy Hearns. Again, we're all friends now. But Tommy Hearns was just a beast, man. Tommy was like a freak of nature. I mean, Tommy's like 6'2". His arms, his power, his speed to be so tall was amazing. And knockout power, no question about that. And with Marvin Hagler was he was a beast too. I've always looked up to Marvin, big time.
You were losing that first fight to Hearns. I think, is that the famous fight where Angelo Dundee
You're
said you're
blowing
blowing
it.
it?
Yeah, and the thing about Angelo Dundee, my trainer back in the day, he said the right thing. He said, "You're blowing it, son. You're blowing." He had the right sound bite, and it just that's all he had to say. You know, he didn't have to talk or scream. He was calm, collected, and confident that I could do that if I, go the next level, go the next level. And Tommy, I tell you, man, that was one of the tough, if not the toughest fight of my boxing career.
Well, I know we talked about fights not happening. You said champions fighting champions, but if this is to be true, there's some breaking news that Spence Crawford, the long-awaited super fight, may be taking place June 17th in Las Vegas. What are your thoughts on that fight if it does indeed happen? Welterweights, I know, Spence got compared to you coming out of the Olympics. What are your thoughts on that fight, Ray?
Put it this way, I'm gonna keep this nice and simple. I'll be there. Okay. What do you think?
What do I think of the fight? Well, I'm in Dallas, so I'm a little bit of a homer, having seen him up close. Listen, I've always been when two guys are equal, I always kind of go with the bigger guy, traditional, right? That's usually how people look at it. It's 50-50, but if I had to put my life on it, I would go with EJ.
Well, let's see. Go ahead, Doc.
Crawford's about an hour and a half from Kansas City, so he's our hometown guy. We've kind of adopted him because we don't have anybody. I've seen him in person several times. He's just an exceptional fighter. Like Duran, he's got that junkyard dog in him. You back him into a corner, and he's just gonna fight with everything he's got. And I think I think Haney might be a little bit shocked by that. I don't know if he's fought somebody that has that kind of tenacity and that kind of raw determination.
Yeah. It's like at that level. I mean, certain fighters have things that other fighters don't have, and things you can't teach. It's like that intestinal fortitude. It's like that thing. I call it a thing because there's no word for it. Because again, very few fighters have that, and they can bring that out. I can't wait to see it.
No prediction though, huh, Sugar Ray?
No prediction. If I was fighting, I can give you a prediction.
Well, I'm glad you asked that. How would these guys fare up against the four kings and you especially?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I would win. You know, I'm not being funny. I'm not being, I train to win. I do everything that's necessary to win. And I break him down. I break down the fighter, his strong points, his weak points, his speed, his power, his resilience, all those things. I mean, it's like there. And I prepare for that fight. It's like I choreographed the fight.
I was trying to think today, Ray, like who in boxing is like you? Speed, power, ring generalship, IQ, and you got that smile, the $1 million looks. I grew up with the 7-Up commercials, and then you get in the ring and you turn to this killer. Yeah. Is there anybody that's been in boxing the last 30, 40 years that you think is similar to you?
You know what? We all have our style. We all have our, I don't know what. They have that thing. I always call it a thing because that's what it is. It's a thing. You can't describe it. You can't break it down. Like back in the day, we were on 15 rounds. I mean, that additional 3 rounds? That's a lot, man. Instead of 12 rounds, 15 rounds, they did it for health and for safety. Because they figure that going 15 rounds, you're so fatigued that you could possibly get hurt. I say that. You can possibly get hurt. Yeah. But, again, there's so much talent, natural talent, that boxing is still my favorite sport. No question about that.